is the conclusion class for History's second chapter from Trade to Territory. Yes, this is the final class for this chapter. In this chapter, we need to learn about setting up the new administration of the British and the conclusion of our lesson. Yes, after conquering many territories in India, how the Britishers proceed with the administration policies. This was very important for us to know about the way of administration of the Britishers. Yes. At the first, the Britishers influenced and introduced many procedures in the part of justice. Yes, not only this, they divided the administrative power in India into three parts. Those are called presidencies. Those were Bengal, Bombay and Madras. So these three are called East India presidencies or British presidencies. Yes, each one of these presidency ruled by the governor, and the supreme head of these presidencies was Governor General. The first Governor General of India was Warren Hastings. He was one of the person who contribute a lot to the British administration. Yes, he introduced many new policies in the part of justice in British East India law. In 1772, a new system of justice was established in India. According to this, each district had two courts. The first one is criminal court, second one is civil court. And the other name for the criminal court was Fauzdari Adalat. Other name for the civil court was Diwani Adalat. These two courts were under the control of the collectors. Yes, the collectors plays a very important role in British administration. Civil courts were preceded by the European collector and followed the Indian Hindu law. And the criminal courts were under the supervision of European collector, but in contrast, they followed the Indian Muslim law, which was prepared by the Mufti, means the jurist of the Muslim community, and with the Qazi, means a judge. So, the Indian law was divided into two types, that was Hindu law and Muslim law. The European judges and the European justice had to take into consider these two types of the laws. For this British administration, a person named N.B. Halhed translated the Hindu laws from Sanskrit to English, which were prepared by the 11 Pandits, and the essence of these Hindu laws were taken from the Hindu Dharmasastras. And at the same time, Muslim consolidated law also prepared for the British administration of India. And according to the 1773 Regulating Act, they established one Supreme Court, and Sadar Nizamat Adalat means the Court of Appeals in Calcutta. Yes, these are the innovations or introductory policies by the British administrators in the early stage of British East India Company rule. And we need to know about the company's army. Yes, our next topic was the company's army. Before knowing about the company's army, we need to look back at Mughal emperor's army. Yes, our Mughal emperors mostly based on the cavalry. So what is cavalry? Cavalry means the trained persons who sat on the horseback. Yes, the trained persons on the horseback were called as cavalry, and mostly Mughal emperors based on the foot soldiers, means the other name for the foot soldiers was Paidal. Yes, these two are the strongest soldiers in the army of the Mughal emperors. So they were not looked for the other type of modernized weapons to fight with the other kings. And from the 19th century, the process of recruiting soldiers into the army was changed in the groups of successor states of Mughal emperors, Awadh and Benares. Yes, they changed their style of recruiting army. They gave much importance to the people or to the soldiers who are well versed with the modernized usage of the guns. Yes, the same way was followed by the British East India Company also when they were recruiting the soldiers. Generally, for the Mughal emperors, the local people or the local zamindars used to supply much cavalry and infantry. Infantry means the foot soldiers who were carried loaded guns. Yes, the British East India Company increased the number of infantry soldiers and matchlocks in their army. So matchlocks were the modernized weapons in the battles. So when the East India Company fighting with Burma, Afghanistan and Egypt, they were used the modernized weapons like infantry and matchlocks. So matchlock was an early type of gun which used the powder, and with the matchstick it will be ignite. Yes, and always the British East India Company would like to learn the new technologies in the army. Why? Because it is very important to the British East India Company to pull up the vast amount of the soldiers. Why? Because it was always engaged in the wars, we know that. Because of that reason, it needs very solid group of army. Yes, and slowly after 1820, the British East India Company imposed a European style of training to the soldiers, and it would like to bring the uniformity in its military or army. Yes, it was giving a new training, drill and discipline to the soldiers. Of course, these all would make the soldiers' life more disciplined than before. But we can't say that all the soldiers are agreed for this. And we have to remember one thing, that in India, the people are very much interrelated with their customs and the traditions. And they are part of community first of all. So there was lots of doubts on the behavior of the soldiers while the East India Company was giving a new training technologies and new training methods of the European style. Yes, there was a doubt that these people or the Hindu soldiers or Indian Muslim soldiers can be able to see themselves as only soldiers. Could they able to avoid themselves from the community? Yes, all these questions will give the answers from the 1857 battle. Yes, from 1857 battle we can learn the inner feelings and glimpse about the sipais or soldiers. And mostly the soldiers of the British East India Company called as sipais or sipai army. This sipai word comes from the Hindu word or Indian word sipahi. So which means that soldier. Yes, these Hindu soldiers or Indian Hindu and Muslim soldiers faced a lot of problem because of the training which was given by the European kings or European emperors. So because of that, it leads to the revolt of 1857. Yes, let us conclude the lesson of from trade to territory. Yes, we learnt that how the East India Company entered into the India for a trade, and how it establishes its kingdom all over the India, and how it subjugate one after another kingdom into the rule of East India Company. Yes, not only that, the advent of the technology in the 18th, 19th centuries helped the rise of British East India Company undoubtedly. Why? Because it used to take 6 to 8 months to travel from England to India. But with the advent of the steamships, the time reduced to the 3 weeks to travel from England to India. So more Europeans would like to come to India along with their families. So that's why more number of the Britishers come to India and they easily conquer India. At the end of the 19th century, 63% of the territory was under the control of the British and 78% of the people are under the control of British. Means remaining part also is indirectly controlled by the Britishers only. Means almost all we can tell that 100% India was being under the control of Britishers. Yes, now the British East India Company establishes its power from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we can say undoubtedly. In the further lessons, we need to learn about then how the people felt about the British administration, how the Sipais received the administration of the British, and how our freedom struggle starts. Thank you.